So welcome back to the deep dive.
Yeah.
And today we're diving into something that I think is going to resonate with a lot of you out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're all constantly juggling schoolwork, personal growth, trying to figure out who we are and where we fit in.
Right.
And it's so easy to feel overwhelmed by it all, right?
Absolutely.
So we've got some really interesting source material today that digs into exactly that.
Yeah, it offers some really practical advice too.
Yeah, it's all about cutting through that feeling of being overwhelmed and actually taking control and moving forward.
Yeah, finding that focus amidst all the chaos.
Exactly. And so what we're going to do in this deep dive is kind of distill some of the key strategies and mindsets from this material so that, by the end of it, you're feeling a bit more empowered, a bit more focused, and, ready to tackle whatever comes your way.
And I think what's so powerful about this stuff is that it starts by acknowledging that feeling, right?
Yeah.
That feeling of being pulled in a million different directions.
Totally.
You've got your studies going on, maybe you're working a job or even multiple jobs,
Right.
and then you're trying to maintain relationships,
And take care of yourself.
Exactly. Like there's just so much going on, and the material we've got really speaks to that initial feeling of almost being like underwater.
Yeah. What really struck me right off the bat was this idea that you are capable of more than you think.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
It's like so simple, right? But it's so powerful because it challenges those limits that we often put on ourselves without even realizing it.
Absolutely.
Think about the last time you held yourself back from doing something because you thought, oh, I can't do that, or that's too hard, or whatever.
Right. Or, you just kind of assume that you've already reached your limit.
Yeah, exactly. And this is saying no, you have so much more potential than you realize.
Yeah. And what's interesting is how the material connects that belief to taking action.
Yeah.
It talks a lot about this small steps approach.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. It's the idea that you don't achieve big goals by making these huge leaps all at once. Yeah. It's about consistent daily effort.
Okay, so what would be an example of a small step?
Well, it depends on what your goal is, right?
Right.
But let's say you're struggling with a particular subject in school. A small step could be committing to just 10 minutes of studying every day.
Okay.
Or if you're, dreaming of a certain career,
Yeah.
it could be sending one email a day, reaching out to someone in that field, or researching different companies.
Okay, or going to a networking event.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even something like, getting up early to work out, even when you're feeling tired.
Yeah, like dragging yourself out of bed.
Yeah, these small actions, they might seem insignificant on their own,
Right.
but they build momentum over time.
Yeah, you start to build that consistency, which is so important.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're taking these small steps, but let's be real, things aren't always going to go smoothly, right?
Of course not.
We're going to hit roadblocks. We're going to experience setbacks.
It's inevitable.
And that's where this other piece of advice comes in.
Yeah.
The sources talk about how failure isn't the end. It's just feedback.
I love that reframe.
It's so good.
Yeah, it completely shifts your perspective.
Instead of seeing setbacks as these huge defeats that, make you want to give up.
Right.
It's okay, this is just information.
Exactly.
It's telling me something about, what I need to adjust or, how I need to approach things differently next time.
Yeah, it takes the emotional weight out of those moments when things don't go according to plan.
Right. Because it's so easy to get caught up in that feeling of oh, I messed up, I'm a failure.
Yeah, and then you get discouraged and you just want to quit.
Totally. But this is saying no, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to make myself better?
And each challenge you face, it's essentially providing you with data.
Data points.
Yeah, data points that can help you steer yourself towards your goal.
I like that. Okay, so we're taking small steps, we're learning from our setbacks, and then there's this other really important piece,
Yeah.
which is about taking initiative. The material says, don't wait for the perfect moment. Create it.
That's so crucial.
It is, right, because how often do we find ourselves putting things off?
Oh, all the time.
Waiting for the right time or the right circumstances?
Yeah, when everything's perfectly aligned.
Right, and then we end up never actually starting.
And you know what?
Yeah.
That perfect moment might never come.
It might never come.
Exactly.
So we have to create it ourselves.
Yeah, and it starts with just beginning.
Yeah.
Even if it feels messy or imperfect at first.
Even if you don't feel 100% ready.
Right, because action breeds clarity.
It does.
And often that perfect moment, that ideal opportunity, it emerges through the act of starting.
Okay, so to kind of sum it all up, what we're talking about here is, recognizing your own potential, first and foremost.
Yeah, believing in yourself.
Yeah, breaking down those big goals into smaller, manageable steps. Viewing setbacks as opportunities for learning and growth.
Yeah. Feedback, not failure.
Exactly. And understanding that you have the power to create your own opportunities.
To make your own perfect moments.
That's right. And as you go about your day-to-day, what do you think about this? What's one small action, even a tiny one, that you can take right now?
Right now.
Towards something you want to achieve?
Yeah, what's one little step you can take to move yourself forward?
Because building your perfect moment, it starts with that first step.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
Yeah.